the Nazi salute is set to be banned in Victoria, with new laws to be introduced outlawing the offensive gesture. A bill banning the salute will be put to the Parliament today. We've got Dr. Dvir Abramovich with us. He's the Director of the Program in Jewish Culture and Society at the University in Melbourne. Doctor, about time?
Good morning. Good to be with you. It is about time. I'm also, of course, chair of the Anti-Defamation Commission, and on the January 27th of this year, which marked International Holocaust Remembrance Day, I stood on the steps of Parliament House with a group of Holocaust survivors and launched this campaign calling on the Victorian government to outlaw the Nazi salute. So I'm overjoyed. As I've said before, when the government banned the Nazi swastika, I will shed some tears of joy because it is beyond belief that the neo-Nazis and the white supremacists who have weaponized this evil gesture as a rallying cry and to call for the murder of Jews still have the law on their side, but not for long. So this 6-year campaign that I began is really coming to an end, and we are denazifying Victoria. Enough is enough.
Doctor, how does this new law or legislation go above and beyond last year's anti-vilification laws that were passed that carried fines of $22,000, 12 months jail for anyone who intentionally displayed a Nazi symbol? How does this go above and beyond the existing legislation?
Well, what this actually does is that it imposes a fine of 12 months so it imposes a fine of $23,000 or a 12-month imprisonment for anyone who intentionally performs a Nazi symbol or a gesture in public. As your audience would recall, in March we had neo-Nazis marching on the steps of Parliament House and performing the Nazi salute. And we have to remember that for a Holocaust survivor, seeing this salute, it is as threatening as being faced with a gun. And I'm issuing a personal call to every elected member of our parliament to vote yes for this bill and to strike a decisive blow against the neo-Nazis who are peddling this dangerous and dehumanizing agenda. They are determined to keep Hitler's legacy alive, and we are saying no.
So, Doctor, the only thing I can think of why you wouldn't do this is because if you're doing a Nazi salute, you're revealing yourself as a neo-Nazi and therefore, in effect, advertising that you have that perspective.
Well, the neo-Nazis and the white supremacists and the hardcore bigots are promoting and publicizing themselves anyway.
Right.
But a democracy is not just about the rights that we have. It's also about what we are willing to tolerate. And this law will also honor the diggers who sacrificed their lives to defeat Hitler's regime. And of course, it will also commemorate the memory of the 6 million Jews and the millions of others that were exterminated by the Nazis. This is a glorious day. It's a momentous occasion, and we all have to applaud this.
It got passed in law in June down in Tasmania. What has been the reaction since then?
Well, I actually was invited by the Attorney General, Liz Archer, to come down to Hobart and to sit with her in Parliament. And I can tell you that all of the surveys, all of the polls have shown that the majority of Tasmanians support and applaud this law. This is important because a long-deferred reckoning on how to deal with this stain is now, and the Parliament has to act, has to send the unmistakable message to all those neo-Nazis. Your ideology of murder will never find a shelter in our state.
So, Doctor, Tasmania. So tell us about the other states in Victoria. Where do they stand?
Well,
in Australia, I should say.
Well, New South Wales hasn't done it yet, but it will. South Australia, as I understand, is looking at it. WA has already announced that it will ban the public displays of the Nazi swastika, and so has Queensland. If I have to, I will travel into every single state to make the compelling and convincing case that we have to kick Nazism, not just out of Victoria, but out of Australia.
Is this the end? Is this for you for the campaigning, or is there something else that you'd like to campaign with?
Well, look, our work is not done, but this is one more step forward in protecting the foundations of our democracy, of protecting us from the evil of Nazism. And we all have to, this is a whole of society challenge. Who would have thought 6 or 7 years ago that we would have neo-Nazis marching in the streets of Melbourne and giving the Heil Hitler salute? Never again is now And it is our collective responsibility to push back against this poison that is infecting our society.
So, Doctor, there are in various countries in Europe, right-wing governments are getting in. Is the salute banned in European countries?
It's only banned in Germany and Austria, but it's not banned in other countries. And I've said that Victoria has taken the high moral ground when it banned the public displays of the Nazi swastika. Now it is showing the way, along with Tasmania, in banning the Nazi salute. We are world leaders on this. And we also have to remember that the neo-Nazis will not disappear, but they now understand that we are fighting back, and this is a battle that we have to win.
Thank you, Doctor. We'll watch with interest today as it goes to Parliament in Victoria.